Hi. Yeah, little update for me. Like, we will try something new and involve you guys in our little universe and the journey towards hopefully something good. So it's been a bit quiet for me the last many months and almost the last year. But I will get you guys a trip around what's actually happened. So last year in September at the Danish Champs, I was supposed to go to Nice. Got a qualification on Lanzarote, quite low, but I got the qualification, and then I was supposed to race at Danish Champs just some weeks before heading to Nice, and there was just something in the weeks up to the race that wasn't quite good. But at the race I had a great swim, and then suddenly I just lost all focus and couldn't really remember anything, and it turned out that I was falling apart, having a blackout. So yeah, I didn't complete the race, and I was driving to the hospital, and they researched the heart and the lungs and all the vascular system, because they were afraid that I had some heart skipping or something. So the next couple of months, really from September on, were just in and out of hospitals and doing different EKG tests and blood samples, because they thought I was like, there's been so many terrible things happening with sports people the last couple of years, so they wanted to check out that I was 100% to go. And then we took the trip to Nice. I was allowed to travel to Nice, so we took to Nice and then did a bit of a recon on the course, and I was just there enjoying holiday with the family and so on. And I had to find out how to build a new chapter in some way, both in my life and in my career and what I wanted and so on. So I just switched coach in that time to a really good German friend who wanted to help me out. But then I recognized that I needed someone who's very close to me. So I found a new coach, started with a new coach, good old one. There's has a lot of knowledge in the sport, and I think finding him, I also found myself in some way and what I actually wanted. So that's a good thing. And then I started training during the winter, 23, 24 this winter, and I actually turned out to be in really good shape. I headed off for a training camp in Dania with some of my best friends, Mark Eggerling, and a couple of other German guys on a training camp before the season had to start, and I was flying, like really good shape. There was still some final touches to be done, but I was in a very good place actually. And then I came home from Dania, and I was about to start the season in Valencia, and then everything just fell apart. I got panic attacks and anxiety attacks all the time. It's just blackouts, just laying down on the floor, shaking, couldn't remember anything, couldn't train. When I was out training, I had attacks out training, so actually at some point I was really afraid that I should die in some way, because my body just shut down, couldn't breathe, and I was just And then we took a step back and reevaluated the situation, and then my coach was there one evening when I got an anxiety attack, and we just knew we have to do something about it. So I started going to the doctor and a psychologist and a psychiatrist. I started a pretty tough treatment program there, and our deal was actually to continue racing and continue try to keep up the training, because that's a big part of me, and actually that's what keeps me happy and gives me my private space in some way. Also when having a family and so on, it's just a part of me that I can't let go. So that was actually the plan, and then I went on a camp in Pushlamsee training camp that went super good. Read some books and tried to find inner peace in some way. But then when I got home again, everything crashed again. And it got even more serious with the treatments at the hospital from the psychiatrist and psychologist. And we just think we figured out what it was, and it was not something with that specific situation, but something far back from both my childhood and the way I grew up, and that's just grounded very deeply in me, and always been a real challenge for me to believe that I'm good enough, and that I'm just that me and the way I am a bit different from like the typical box of people is actually okay. And I had to discover that the hard way and take care of the traumas I had from my childhood and forced to do it. So I took care and did a lot of treatments at the hospital, and then I just kept cracking all the time and couldn't really put together a good training week. Then I could put together a couple of good training days, and then I'll crash again, have 2 or 3 days without nearly no training. So we just decided to pull the plug and don't race. That was actually quite tough for me, because I felt that when I wasn't allowed to train and to race, that was just a part of me being pulled away from me in some way. So actually everything got worse in that period. So yeah, it's been a long journey, a long summer, a long winter of just figuring out who I am and what I will do. And to be honest, I was a couple of times pretty close to just call it a career in some way, but I kept getting back to that I can't let this go, because it's a big part of me and a part of who I am, and a big dream of mine that I can't let go. So now we are here, and in the meantime I was actually doing a bit of a stupid thing. I hadn't like really trained for 2.5 months, and then suddenly a friend of mine asked, you want to do a criterium? I thought that would be a great idea to kickstart it all. And then suddenly out of no training I was doing a criterium, and it was crazy hard, but I think it was at that time that I really discovered how much I really missed the sport and the ego for the little metal taste in the mouth of blood and like lactic acid all over the place. And then it sounded straight, I blew up like big time. I won a sprint competition. It's good for my body type, I think. And I blew up big time. Like, I didn't complete the race, but it was some kind of success, I think. so that got me fired up. And now the situation is that this Monday I started training again, structured and hopefully building for a new season, new goals, and then start totally from scratch. Like, I haven't really trained for 3 months, so it's also a big mental challenge to be in that bad shape, but I think it will be pretty good. And we took some very big decisions, I think, in our lives and the way we approach it. Like, we moved nearby Copenhagen to make everything a bit more suited around my training, and I put my study on a pause to focus on what's important right now in my life. And Leone support me big time in this journey, and it's a team journey in some way, and the same for my coach. Like, I think every one of us is all in, and I know my team in Austria is also super supportive, and it means a lot that they believe that I can do great things and so on. So that really like helps a lot that everyone is there supporting me. So now it's just me and doing the hard job of getting back, and then trust the process and trust myself, and then I'm pretty sure I will not only be a version 2, but I will be a whole different person on a whole different level. Like, a friend of mine said that you don't need to take a step up, so you need to take 2 steps back to actually be ready to take a jump, and that's what I've decided to do. Yeah, and then we started this channel to hopefully inspire people in similar situations, both in life and in their career, not only in sports but also all different kind of things. And also this channel is actually as much to the people who support me and wants to follow the journey, and as important, it's for myself, as a little journal of how to remember where I came from and where I am. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I do, and then stay tuned for some more content. This is just a bit of a breakdown of what's actually happened the last year, so maybe you guys can understand the situation a bit more, and then see you for the next one.